We describe the impact of Marco Polo's journeys.
Marco Polo's journeys that took him on the Silk Road to the court of Kublai Khan and back to Italy made him one of the first European global celebrities. But early credit should be given to his father Niccolo and his uncle Maffeo, two merchants of Venice who journeyed to the Asian heartland and came back with some powerful connections and a proposal for a world-changing future adventure. For 10 years, the Polo brothers had been lodging and traveling along the Silk Road, looking for new and interesting goods to sell in Europe and contacts to buy them from. Baby Marco was left at home with his mother, who would unfortunately die while the brothers were away on their journey. According to sources, the Polo brothers would meet an emissary of Kublai Khan who would invite them to come to China, and upon meeting the grandson of Genghis Khan, found him to be very curious about the papacy and Christianity in general. He asked if they would come back with scholars and oil from the lamp of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. He also wanted to open up communication with Pope Clement IV. So with that, he gave the brothers a garage, a foot-long tablet made of gold that acted as their passport to guide them safely through the Mongol Empire. 3 years later, they made it back to Venice to find Marco Polo was a teenager and Pope Clement was dead. After 3 years, the longest gap without a pope, an election happened and Pope Gregory X was chosen to replace Clement. He gave his blessings, gifts, scholars, and 2 friars to the Polos to take to Khan, this time with Marco in tow. The friars, of course, fled shortly into the journey when the party found themselves in a war zone. But the Polo brothers were well versed in Turkic Persian culture and language by this point, and were able to continue the journey relatively smoothly. According to Polo's later account of the journey, they took the northern Silk Road route, most likely traveling through the Caucasus, and ending up in Tabriz. At one point, Marco got sick and delayed the journey for almost an entire year while they all stayed in Badakhshan. They eventually crossed the Hindu Kush Mountains and the deserts and saw jasper, rubies, and silk. Marco recounted that they reached Kublai Khan in 1275. According to his biography, Kublai liked him so much that he made him an official Mongol Yuan, and Polo would travel to India, Burma, and many more countries as an emissary of Kublai. Polo claimed to have lived that life for 17 years before they felt their welcome was closing with the increasing age of Kublai. So the Polos loaded themselves up with 17 years of riches, the blessings of Kublai, and Princess Kochacha, in who they were supposed to take to marry the Prince of Persia named Argun. 2 years and the death of 600 sailors later, they arrived home in Venice. Historians have debated a long time about the 2-year gap in the record, which include theories like bubonic plague and piracy. After many adventures, the Polos returned to Venice in 1295, loaded with treasure. Then a war broke out between Venice and Genoa, and Polo was put in jail. In jail, he met a writer named Rustichello from Pisa. Polo told him about the world he had seen from memory. And Rustichello would write a bestseller that would inspire Columbus.